Hello, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. Um, my name is Gemma. I'm a criminologist and a mother and an advanced course. So this one I'm going to talk about how we can understand aspects of heaven and hell, and understand that there are dimensions to this. So you can understand these through dimensional frequencies rather than not. You can then understand the development process of a dimensional space, but ultimately people say they come back. Okay, so they have like OBEs and then they come back and then they're like, we experience like a bridge, and like they'll talk about how like there's an ancestor there or something like this, and it's just our brains, I think, going back to memories to provide a sustenance, or it could just be a program. So it depends how you want to see it as well. For logical people, they might call it a program, and for like intuitive people, they might just say, "Oh, it's purely spiritual." Okay, so I think that's the ratio of the left and the right brain. So you can bring this together in this topic because it's important, because every dimension holds a significant factor to understanding heaven and hell. These are simply fears, desires. Okay, your heaven is your desire. Your hell is your fear, right? So this is how, on a fourth idea concept, how you might understand your places, the places that might gravitate towards an understanding of that in a fourth an idea, right? So there are many ideas you can take to understanding the dimensions, how they can develop through a dimensional space as well. So you got like, you got Houdini, okay? Let's tap out, okay? So tap out, because this is it. When you move back, you teaching others as well, shifting. Okay, so we can do this. We all have a superpower, okay? And it's our personality as well, right? So you could be a leader, and you be showing everyone else the way. Okay, this is where change comes into play. But this is a heaven hell concept. Let's go back to this. Okay, so heaven, desires, fears, hell. Okay, that's how it is. So heaven is our desires, that's our heaven, and then our fears, our nightmares, they're our fears. Okay, our biggest fears. And we it's almost like we fall into these places in our lives when we walk through and we have to learn. It's like we're like in a big swamp and we're just like trying to push our way through. And it's almost like when you experience things like this, understanding heaven hell concepts, this might be where you start understanding your shadow work. You might start integrating shadow work to your occults, because shadow work is important to do it like this. Because sometimes it's a visual, spiritual is a visual experience to an aspect of finding healing as well. And even though I have Karen in the ninth house, I struggle with this. Spirituality is a wound, okay? So you can also have a healing experiences through this. And it's apparent, okay? I have Jupiter in the ninth house as well, so, right, I'm lucky. So I'm lucky, but I'm not lucky. I'm lucky though, in different ways. And I don't know. Okay, so I think the most enlightening path is obviously taking that heaven, but when we encounter, when we rise on our astrology, when we start learning our lessons as we grow older, they're higher on the charts, okay? Especially where Chiron is. So currently mine's in the 7th house, so I have issues with relationships because I have 7th house Chiron, travel going through my Aries, which is actually in the 7th house. So on my chart, that's what it is. So I have experienced much relationship breakdowns when just encountering this. So it's really teaching me about how to have better relationships with people. So I have Lilith in the first house. How can I dodge that aspect of hell, right? It's extremely sad. But an aspect of hell and an aspect of heaven is the compromise. So you can't just stay there. You have to make that decision. You have to rise, okay? You have to rise for our desires and understand aspects of manifestation. So heaven and hell can have that connotation to it. Or it can be literally a space and time where there's a spiritual trap taking place. So this might be a 5D concept, okay? So this actually takes place sometimes, fifth dimension. I think alien abduction might even be coined under this, maybe a fifth dimensional like abduction. When they speculate that. I don't know if it's true, but probably is. Under fifth dimensional ideas, under fifth dimension spaces, okay? So this is how I might understand this a lot better. It's a 5D space, okay? The ones that do the clouds, are they the Andromedas? The Lords, okay? Time Lords. I think they're the Time Lords. So they all have different connotations to them as well, okay? So it's a 5D space, okay? So then there's 6D, 7D, 8D, right? So the connotations to heaven and hell, who is dictating that as well? Right? So we can go no higher and go to an alien phenomenon and say, well, who is it? Well, it would be a Time Lord, and it would be an Andromeda probably. So that's my understanding, if it is. So it could be a godlike energy, so like Elohim, like a connotation like that, as a visual, so it could be a 5D space, okay? So heaven and hell are different connotations, okay? There's a different mission. Everything it's almost like a scatter energy as well, by M 369. So, it's so everything's connected, but in a not in the same connotation on what people might want to believe, because we are all one. We can feel into energy, but it's not ours. We know who we are. We know we're separate from that plant, that blade of grass. We're just experiencing the feelings together in that one moment in time. So let's go back onto heaven and hell. This is the rise to heaven, because this is the plan, experiencing through wars, a growth, and the beauty in that growth, okay? Because that's all it exceeds. That's its only wish, to grow. So when you feel into that energy, it's high, okay? So this is how I can explain that blade of grass, but understanding that there's a separateness as well, because we can see it, right? So we use our senses as well. So we have to understand how we have to overcome our obstacles within a hell concept. How can we overcome our fears? Okay, so this is motivational speeches and stuff like this. How can we overcome our fears when we how can we rise through that to create our desires? Okay, this is very difficult for me in the minute, especially though because I'm a manifestor, so it all connects back onto itself. Okay, 369, and to be able to create that space for understanding the determinism. Is it determined? Is everything determined, or is it not determined? Like, is life determined? Is there a blueprint that it says this is how it is and this is how it should go? Okay, so this is like the connotation to determinism. Like, is this real? Okay, the existence, or is it just predetermined? So like a destiny would be a hellish state, or a destiny would be more desirable state. Like, could you read that for astrology? So connection is everything as well. So heaven and hell aspect will always be like an ultimate, like your own understanding, individual understanding, your own wounds to uncover. You might experience this through other people as well as a mirror. You might be trying to learn something that you need to learn in your life, okay? but you're looking at something and you're focusing on that object over there that you need to be focusing on yourself, like how you were treated when you was younger or something like this, right? So you can understand that you might be have feelings of understanding that needs to be connected, but the travel's broken for some reason to love. You might break that connection with love because there's something missing for you, but it might trigger you. So other people can trigger us just with love as well. I'm seeing it, right? We get triggered by it because we're losing something that we love and care about. So, it can trigger people in different ways. Okay? And the reason why it might have stirred or something spiritual connotation is because you might have experienced that experience, but when you was a kid, you might be connecting for some reason. There might be some connection there. Or disconnect. Okay? Right? But it's melancholy as well, right? But we just need to remember that we might have an understanding we missed. This is how we can bring Kabbalah into it. We might just understand that there might be a missing piece that you haven't acquired for that travel to rise to a different space. But if you have it in your astrology, then it's easy for you to connect there. It's natural for you, okay? So if you have Sun conjunct Venus, it's natural for you to conjoin them together. It's natural. Venus is that sphere which is Naksha, and then beauty is the sun. So if Sun conjuncts the Venus, then there wouldn't be a break. It would be easy for that person to be able to rise on that sphere, okay? Up to that. To be able to help other people to do it as well, okay? So different people bring different keys, okay? So it can be a gatekeeper concept, I guess. But love with love and I do, okay? It's nice energy. Okay, it's peaceful. Because Mummy said so. So to ultimately overcome hell concept, regardless whether what dimension it's in, whatever, is really just to understand that these are our fears. It's almost like our fears and desires, and they're all mixed up. Okay? And this is how we should see it. That fears and desires are mixed up in this bag of crap of a world sometimes. And we have to work our way out of it. And it's our fears and our desires. And it's kind of, it's sad, okay? Sometimes. Because we can encounter a lot of fears that can really bring us to our knees, okay? Bring us to our knees in fear, okay? Sadness. We have to rise. That there'll be a solution, okay? It has to be, okay? And that's the sort of like Sun Venus conjunct, because that's the optimism that you would bring with that energy, okay? So there's a bigger rise just for this. Okay, but it's really nice when that takes place, because a lot of understanding come across, compassion and optimism for a better future, but there has to be some truth in that, okay? So regardless, heaven, hell, this actual world itself, heaven and hell concept going right out there, like we have to look after it. We have to look after it, okay? Bring it together so we can all work in harmony. Peace and harmony in all the world. Peace.